You are bleeding in the snow. You are hiding behind a frozen pine tree in ancient Europe. The creature tracking you walks on two legs. It looks human, but it is too wide, too dense, too strong, and it is hunting you. This isn't a horror movie. This was reality for our ancestors. For over 100,000 years, humanity fought a brutal, undocumented world war. Our enemy wasn't a predator, it was our closest cousin, the Neanderthal. We like to think we simply outsmarted them, that they peacefully faded away into the ice. They didn't. We slaughtered them. But for the vast majority of this 100,000-year war, we were losing. To understand this war, you have to understand the enemy. Neanderthals were not stupid cavemen. They were the apex predators of Ice Age Europe. They had brains larger than ours. They were incredibly muscular, built like modern professional wrestlers. Their bones were thicker. Their eyes were adapted to the dark, freezing gloom of the northern forests. When early Homo sapiens first marched out of Africa, we walked straight into their territory, and they pushed us right back out. Fossil records show our ancestors tried to settle the Middle East multiple times. Each time, the Neanderthals slaughtered them. They were the ultimate ambush predators. They didn't throw spears. They hid in the thick brush, waited for their prey, and drove heavy spears directly into flesh. If a Homo sapiens got into a hand-to-hand fight with a Neanderthal, they died. Period. So, how did a weaker, thinner species manage to wipe them off the face of the earth? The answer lies in a terrifying shift in how we hunted. We stopped fighting fair. After thousands of years of getting massacred in close-quarters combat, our ancestors innovated. We realized we couldn't outmuscle them, so we decided to outreach them. We invented projectile weapons, the bow and arrow, the spear thrower. Suddenly, we didn't have to get within arm's reach of a 200-pound Neanderthal warrior. We could strike from the shadows. We could pepper them with flint-tipped darts from 30 yards away. Imagine the terror of the Neanderthals. For 300,000 years, they were the undisputed lords of Europe. Now, strange, lanky invaders were picking them off from the tree line. But weapons alone didn't win this war. Neanderthals were intelligent. They adapted. They started surviving the ambushes. If it was just about weapons, the war would have ended in a stalemate. But we had a darker, more insidious tactic up our sleeves, something that would slowly suffocate their entire species. We weaponized our social circles. Neanderthals lived in small, isolated tribes, maybe 10 to 15 people. They were intensely loyal to their tiny families. Homo sapiens operated differently. We were a virus. We built massive networks. Tribes of 50, 100. We traded across hundreds of miles. When a harsh winter hit, a Neanderthal tribe had to survive on its own. If they couldn't find food, they starved. If they were attacked, no one came to help. When Homo sapiens were starving, we called on our neighboring tribes. We traded shells, flint, and food. We formed the first military alliances. This wasn't just a war of weapons, it was a war of logistics. We slowly surrounded their hunting grounds. We took the best caves. We killed the big game before they could reach it. It was a 10,000-year siege. We were slowly starving them to death. But the final days of the Neanderthals weren't just a quiet surrender to hunger. The fossil record reveals a horrifying final chapter. What did we do to the ones who survived the starvation? We consumed them. And I mean that literally and genetically. In places like Le Roi in France, archaeologists found something chilling, a Neanderthal jawbone. It had cut marks on it. The exact same cut marks found on the bones of deer that had been butchered for meat. Our ancestors didn't just kill the rival species. We ate them. We used their teeth to make necklaces. We wore them as trophies. But the true horror of the invasion was assimilation. When modern humans overran a Neanderthal camp, they didn't kill everyone. They killed the men, and they took the women. We know this because of your DNA. If you are of European or Asian descent, you carry about 2% Neanderthal DNA. This wasn't a peaceful intermingling of two species falling in love around a campfire. This was the brutal reality of primitive conquest. We bred them out of existence. We absorbed the remnants of their shattered tribes into our own. Within a few thousand years, the last full-blooded Neanderthals were backed into the caves of Gibraltar, staring out at the ocean, with nowhere left to run. They waited for the humans to come, and then they were gone forever. History books call it an extinction event. But that's a sanitized term. It was a genocide. The first and most complete genocide in the history of the world. We fought a war for the planet, and we left absolutely no survivors. People often wonder why humans are so inherently violent, why we are so quick to divide the world into us and them, why we are so terrified of the dark. We don't fear the dark because of wolves or bears. We fear the dark because for 100,000 years there was another human species hiding in it.
And the only reason they aren't there anymore is because we became the deadliest monsters in the forest.